What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to review Little Nightmares 2. I'm not going to necessarily spoil anything, or at least if I do, I will try to give you guys as big of a warning as I can. The game came out, obviously, a few days ago on Thursday. It's only around 4 to 6 hours. I assume anybody who bought it that day has probably already beaten it by now, but this is... Honestly, this is a special game. It really is. It's not like the greatest game I've ever played in my life, but there are so many really good things about this game. A couple weaknesses, and we'll talk about that. And I think a lot of those weaknesses kind of rest on me, just as not a great gamer when it comes to the kind of stuff that Little Nightmares 2 tries to do. And really quick, I do want to make it clear just early on in the video, I don't give scores. So normally reviews are just kind of opinion videos where I just talk about the good, the bad, what I felt about different things, and I kind of just leave it at that. I let you guys make your decision based off of your own thought, which I do think is pretty important, but I don't give actual rating scores, okay? So Little Nightmares 2 I think is really good. I mean that's the first thing. So if you like me, if you trust my opinions on games, there's the first thing you should run with is this is a good game. It's $30. It is only, I think it took me 5 hours, maybe 5.5 hours to beat this game. I have seen walkthroughs where people can get this thing done in 3.5 hours, probably less. If you know what you're doing and you're not like me and you get stuck on just the simplest of puzzles, or you don't die like 30 times trying to make a jump or whatever, I think you can honestly even get this game done in around 3 hours. So that's definitely something that comes down to people. I know games that are like more live service, or games that are, free to play, or all this different stuff. Sometimes we're used to getting games, if we're paying $60, sometimes we're used to getting games that gives us 40, 50, 60, sometimes over 100 hours of stuff. I get it. This is a $30 game. It's really only going to get you around 5-6 hours. If you want to platinum it, or you want to, get all the achievements, stuff like that, it will take you a little bit longer, but not much. It's probably only 7, 8, 9 hours, absolute max, if you get everything out of the game. So I do think that is important to mention right off the bat. I have no problem with it. I love supporting these kind of games. I love supporting smaller games. And, that's the interesting thing with Little Nightmares 2 is it's a very much like a glorified indie smaller game. I mean, the team actually isn't even that small. I think it's got like over 70 people that worked on this game. It's actually a decent sized team, but this is still more of a independent, a smaller game. But it obviously, considering there's really nothing else out right now, it is, I think, being looked at as a really big game. And the original Little Nightmares, that was also absolutely massive. So this game is good, start to finish. I would say I was actually kind of worried about, and not worried like in a bad way, I was worried about getting scared out of my mind, like having a heart attack leading into this game. Like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before, I was like, okay, like I'm ready. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to horror games. I love playing them. Like I've played Outlast is so terrifying. I've played that, played the Resident Evil games. I've played like Amnesia. I've played some different kinds, some like underground horror games as well. I mean, I do really enjoy them. I just, I don't always love to be scared. And Little Nightmares obviously is a different kind of fear. It's more of a tense feel. And I do think that this game nails it. It's not non-stop, and I actually talked about that leading into it. We talked about, what are some things that the game can't do. Well, it needs to provide a build-up to the tension, but it needs to provide a relief, and that's what this game does. Now, what I will say is it is kind of formulaic, systematic, however you want to say it. Every level, for the most, I think there's 5 main levels in the game. You don't do the same thing, and they're not all in the same location, but the like how you get from one point to the other, or like the system of events that happens is the same every time. You're in maybe a bigger area that you have to kind of figure out how to get into a specific area, which either will take keys or it'll take like fuse cells or whatever. So there's a bit of exploration. It lets you go around. There's always a chase scene pretty much to end every, I think actually no, not even pretty much, to end every single boss. Okay, and there are bosses in this game, which again, we won't go into all that stuff, but to end it all, there's a chase scene. So what I will say is I was happy with the tension. I was happy that I wasn't having a heart attack nonstop, that it was only at like key moments, okay? What I would say was a little bit of a weakness is that it was pretty formulaic. You could sense, especially, I would say even after the first one, when you get into like the second main area, or you could say even the third, you really start to understand how the game operates. Again, you're in a big area, you try and find certain things, or something. There's puzzle solving, and when it comes to puzzle solving, I will not discredit the game whatsoever. I will put that all on me. I forget routinely how god-awful I am at really just puzzles in general. I actually hate, I actually like puzzles, but I hate doing them like in real life, like just like, jigsaw puzzles. My wife loves them, but I hate them in the sense that I do them for about 10 minutes and then I get bored, I get distracted, and I jump off of it because it's just way too hard for me. So, it's not something I'm holding against the game. There are puzzles that I think are very clever. I really do. You got to give them credit, I think, where credit's due when they make a really nice system of how to do things. I'm not going to hold it against them that I routinely got stuck. I routinely had to ask for help. I routinely had to go online and figure it out. I mean, there are some of them that are kind of weird. There's some like how you get from one area to the other that maybe isn't the most, like clear. Also, like, it is a very dark game. Like, in terms, and I don't mean like, I mean, there is actually a lot of like dark elements to it, but also like lighting. It's dark, so like it is sometimes hard to tell where certain things are. Okay, none of those, by the way, are weaknesses. One thing I do want to say, and I want to say it as early as I can in this video. The music in this game is my favorite soundtrack in a game in such a long time. I'm a sucker for soundtracks in any game, really. There's a lot of really amazing soundtracks, whether it be, I don't know. There's obviously there's very different kinds of genres in gaming, but this soundtrack is so, like, it's actually insane, especially the ending, the final level, the final stuff that's going on. It is so good, and even like the end credits, when the credits are rolling and you hear the music, it is so good. It rivals some of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in a game. So that may not be something that matters to all that many people. To me, it's like I would have that game on in the background just to hear the music. That's how good the game is, okay? So that's very important. And then the story. Obviously, the story, connecting it to Little Nightmares 1, which we won't talk about, right? But obviously, this is called Little Nightmares 2, so it has some connection to the first game, right? It's really good. It's really good. It's not the most pressing story for the first, I'd say, like 60 to 80% of it. Again, that's without getting into spoilers, but I think that's important to note that, like, if you're looking for like a story, like a very hardcore story told to you, there really isn't any. It's all kind of in the background. It's stuff that you kind of learn just by like watching things. It's kind of just like taking in the environment, the areas, the people, or what things are happening. It's kind of just taking that in and kind of piecing it together on your own, which is what you do a lot of the time in the first game anyway. And then as we get to, I would say, like the 60, 70, 75% mark of the story, that part on, there's like I would say there's a more clear thing going on. It's easier to piece together. There's more of a clear story. You get the connections there, all that good stuff, okay? So I think it's really good. I really do. It's a game that, again, I really don't think is going to be for everybody, but look, there's nothing out right now. It's actually kind of sad that the lack of things that are out. This is a game, $30. Yeah, it's a very, very short game. You're not going to get your 100-plus hours you can get in other games, in it, but I think it's a very special game. I think it's a game that you do have to not like celebrate, but you do need to kind of reward, or at least that's how I think of it. I want to reward these developers for making a game like this. I had no problem buying it day one. I beat it within 2 days of playing it, and I'm very, very happy with it. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what'd you think? Do you have the game? Did you beat it? If so, you can go into spoilers if you want in the comments. What'd you think? If you guys didn't get it, did this win you over? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed here, bell icon turned on so you know all these videos go up, and I do a brand new video on this channel every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.